This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
Washington State Patrol troopers suddenly have boxfuls of bump stocks thanks to a state buyback program that began over the weekend.
Nearly a year after an arrest in Moses Lake in an alleged cross-state counterfeit scheme, one of two suspects was arraigned on federal charges on Friday.
Saturday afternoon's Northwest Athletic Conference women's basketball tournament semifinal matchups between the Big Bend Vikings and the Umpqua Riverhawks undoubtedly had normally nail-biting fans chewing on even their toes by game's end. It was an historic moment on Sunday afternoon for the Wenatchee Valley College Lady Knight.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Washington State Patrol troopers suddenly have boxfuls of bump stocks thanks to a state buyback program that began over the weekend. Bump stocks mimic automatic rifle fire by allowing the stock of a semi-automatic rifle to rock back and forth against the trigger finger. They became infamous after the 2017 Las Vegas massacre, in which a single gunman using bump stocks killed 59 people and wounded more than 400. The accessories will become illegal under federal law March 26th. The state of Washington has set aside just $150,000 in a buyback program, encouraging owners to turn in their bump stocks for safe disposal in return for a $150 voucher. By mid-morning Monday, 15 bump stocks had been turned in at State Patrol District 6 in Wenatchee. Most came from people involved in dealing firearms and parts. About 180 had been turned in statewide.
In one day, close to burn through a third of the allocated funds, and once the funds are done, there's no more. So we're asking those that want to do it, do your best to try and get in here and do it during the time.
The State Patrol is hosting another round of buybacks March 24th and 25th. Locations include patrol headquarters in Ellensburg, Spokane, and Yakima. One day after that, possession of a bump stock will become a federal crime, and your chance to get money for turning it in will be long gone. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
Nearly a year after an arrest in Moses Lake in an alleged cross-state counterfeit scheme, one of two suspects was arraigned on federal charges on Friday. Artem Kirichenko, indicted on 9 charges including passing counterfeit currency, possession of narcotics with intent to deliver, and felon in possession of a firearm, pleaded not guilty on Friday in connection to his April 2018 arrest. His co-defendant, Emily Coates, pleaded guilty in October to a federal charge of possession with intent to distribute meth. Kirichenko's federal case, allegedly involving trading drugs for counterfeit cash in eastern Washington, was put on hold after an arrest in August in Mason County, in which he was sentenced last month to a year in prison for drug possession. Coates and Kirichenko were arrested April 23, 2018 at the Moses Lake Walmart after police were notified counterfeit cash had been used. A search of the suspect's vehicle uncovered meth, fentanyl, heroin, ecstasy pills, Xanax, $9,000 in cash, a pistol and ammunition, and counterfeit cash. Police say fake $100 bills were used by the two defendants at 8 Moses Lake businesses. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
Saturday afternoon's Northwest Athletic Conference women's basketball tournament semifinal matchup at Larry Walker Court on the campus of Everett Community College between the Big Bend Vikings and the Umpqua Riverhawks undoubtedly had normally nail-biting fans chewing on even their toes by game's end as the two powerhouse squads fought tooth and nail for a spot in the league's championship contest. Both teams got off to a rather jagged start in the opening quarter, with each struggling from the field and committing multiple turnovers as well. Big Bend held a thin 15-13 edge at the end of 10 minutes before the two squads finally started showing more respective polish on offense in the second quarter that saw each of them score 25 points amidst the bevy of sloppy play which perpetuated throughout the game's first 20 minutes. The Vikings still led by a deuce at halftime and continued tightly jockeying to keep the lead throughout much of the second half in a game that seesawed back and forth from start to finish and ultimately included 18 ties and 24 lead changes and never found the two sides separated by more than 4 points through its first 32 minutes. At the conclusion of 3 quarters, Umpqua had pulled ahead by a bucket, and as the fourth frame began to unfold, foul troubles started catching up with both teams, especially Big Bend, who were guilty of 22 in the contest in all, and lost key forward Hannah Wilson to them with nearly 6 minutes still remaining in regulation. In spite of their haphazard defense, the Vikings quickly reestablished the advantage early in the fourth quarter and held the lead for a solid 6.5 minutes until, with less than 100 seconds remaining in regulation, sophomore guard Taylor Strickland tallied a pair of critical shots, including a layup to put Umpqua back in front with 1:36 left and a three-point dagger with only 49 seconds on the game clock, which propelled the Riverhawks to an eventual victory by the count of 80-73. Strickland led all scorers in the contest with 29 points, while freshman guard Abby Broadbent paced Big Ben's ledger with 19. The Vikings, who made the Final Four in back-to-back years for the first time since 2002 and 2003, had their season come to an end with the loss. Big Ben closed the 2018-19 campaign with an overall record of 27-5. Umpqua's win, meantime, cemented their place in the NWAC championship game for the second straight season. Last year, the Riverhawks were made the league's bridesmaids by the Walla Walla Warriors, who won the title bout. Umpqua is hoping to have better success on Sunday and walk the aisle as NWAC champs after their game with the Wenatchee Valley College Lady Knights. Reporting for iFIBER 1 Sports, I'm Chris Hansen. It was an historic moment on Sunday afternoon for the Wenatchee Valley College Lady Knights, who were playing in their first Northwest Athletic Conference championship game since 2002 and looking to win their first league title in 37 years against last season's runners-up at the tournament, the Umpqua Riverhawks. The contest certainly lived up to the defensive battle it was billed to be in the opening quarter as both teams grappled for points and each managed to score only 13 respectively. Both squads picked up their game with the rock in quarter number 2, especially WVC, who outscored Umpqua 28-20 over those 10 minutes, thanks in large part to the efforts of freshman guard Carrie Ann Kunkel, who accounted for half of the Lady Knights' points and finished the half with 18 to lead all scorers, as WVC built an 8-point lead after 20 minutes. In the third quarter, the game returned to more even terms as both squads traded baskets at a feverish clip up and down the floor, and a cooled-off Kunkel found scoring support from sophomore guard Riley Denton and fellow freshman guard Chastity Spady, who each tallied 6 points to help the Lady Knights keep pace with Umpqua's resilient offensive game. The Riverhawks thinned the WVC advantage to 6 points at the end of 30 minutes, and then, just as they had done in Saturday's semifinal contest with the Big Bend Vikings, began to slowly and methodically push back even harder in the fourth quarter. Umpqua tied the score for the first time since early in the second quarter with just over 7 minutes still remaining in regulation. But try as they might, the Riverhawks could never manage to get the lead back from the battle-tested Lady Knights, as well as a crucial steal and 3 critical free throws from Spady to claim their rightful crown as NWAC women's basketball champions for 2019.
Incredible. I mean, and also just surreal at the same time. I think I don't know if it's all sunk in, but I'm sure that when my voice is starting to go, so I'm sure that on the way home it'll sink in. But we're NWAC champions, and that's incredible. It's a game of runs, and we talk about that, the momentum, and that we knew Umpqua was going to go on, or was capable of going on some offensive scoring runs, and we just, they did. I think they did exactly what we expected them to do. We just wanted the last run to be ours.
For WVC head coach Rachel Getz and NWAC executive director Marco Azurdia, the victory carried with it a shared personal significance and was truly special, since both had been a part of the same Lady Knights team that last made the NWAC title game 17 years ago and lost out on a championship by just 1 point when Getz was a player and Azurdia her coach.
Very proud. It was special to watch because they played hard, they play smart, and they play the right way. And you can tell the kids enjoy playing for each other, the ball moves, and they care about each other, and that's what I think you want your teams to do. And I think they want to play hard for her because they know how much she cares and respects them.
Pretty amazing. I mean, some people I'm sure know, but we lost one together on a free throw, a close game, just like comparable to that my freshman year. And so there's a piece of me that's, of course, mostly excited for those girls, but there's a piece in there too that feels like somehow we, went back and made it whole again.
Sophomore guard Ashlyn Burgess tallied 16 points for the Lady Knights and was also honored as the tourney's most valuable player as well. Wenatchee Valley finished the season with an overall record of 28-5, which included a perfect 12-0 mark at home, and even more importantly, were an undefeated 4-0 in games played at Everett Community College in the month of March. Reporting for iFIBER 1 Sports, I'm Chris Hansen.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.